Welcome to the Den of Tools.
Howdy ho, guys and gals. It's Red, your friendly neighborhood Tool Bear, back again here in the Den of Tools. And we're here to talk about Craftsman bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. I see comments time and time again about this. And I'm trying. Some people, I guess, they don't know the whole history and stuff. So we're going to give you a little bit of the background, and then we're going to tell you where we're at now with this plan. So Sears was sold back in 2017, in January of 2017, for $900 million. Or I should say Sears. Craftsman was sold by Sears to Stanley Black & Decker. That's part of the whole Sears just crumbling into the ground. Anyway, we talked that one to death. Anyway, right after that, Stanley comes out and makes a promise and says, hey, yes, we don't have the facilities right now to keep manufacturing Craftsman in the U.S. It's going to move overseas, but it's only temporary. We're going to do this. We're going to do a $35 million capital investment. We don't know where it's going to be. We don't know the exact details, but we're going to bring manufacturing for Craftsman back to the U.S. Pinky swear. That's what they said. That's a quote. All right. And then in May of 2019, we get more details. They say they're going to open a plant in Texas by late next year. So this was May 2019. So they're saying by the end of 2020. Yeah, we all know how that turned out. Anyway, and they will make 10 million Craftsman wrenches and 50 million sockets annually. So it's going to be a sockets and wrenches plant, and they're going to be made here in the U.S. That's fantastic. Well, they announced, right, and this was in May, and they came out with this whole thing, chroming soon. That was going to be their big social media hashtag. You're going to see it on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. It was going to be everywhere. And sure enough, we go over to the Facebook and we look at Facebook, and here's their, we got one post by Craftsman, one post by some car company. Apparently they did something with Craftsman. There's another post by them. There's a post by Lee Russell talking about Craftsman. Quinn, there is literally one post from Craftsman using the chroming soon. That's it. Oh, that was a letdown. Anyway, later we get more information. Breaking the mold in Fort Worth. More top drawer tools coming soon. And they say the plant's now going to be open in 2021. Hard to hold that against them considering, COVID. So, we'll give them a pass. They get a year to get their act back together and make it happen. Well, currently, this is the current map of Craftsman on Craftsman's own website, craftsman.com/support/where it's made. And it shows Texas as non-clickable there. It is coming soon, as is the Virginia one there. Well, T.W. Hicks, an industrial flooring specialist, has given us a sneak peek here. They did, apparently, the floors at the new Craftsman plant. That is it. That's the new plant down in Texas. Walls are up, floors are, in, ceilings on, AC units abound. There is some parking. Notice a lot of the parking is kind of empty. Not the biggest parking lot for a building that size. And they're still working on some of the grounds. But there it is. We can see there's a building, there's a plant, and what else is going on? Well, they've got pictures to show us. Now, this is from 18 weeks ago. That is this year. We can see sockets in bins. The post on this said, cleaned and rinsed and ready to go. Now, these are prototype manufacturing. They're not prototypes themselves. This is they're working out the bugs in the manufacturing process. Here's the heat treatment facility. There, nice long line for heat treat. So they're going to be chroming and heat treating here in the U.S. because they've already admitted at this point that, yes, some of these are going to be made, not some, okay. They said flat out, it's going to be made in the USA with globally sourced materials. Now, they did hint that the global sourcing was, well, it was because we're not really sure, like the steel. We want to buy the steel, but we can't guarantee what percentage because a lot of steel is recycled, so maybe so. That's not how it works, folks. And their marketing guys have pushed this in conversations at expos and stuff. That is not how that legality works. And I it's kind of sad to see them kind of pushing that as a disinformation channel. And the other thing you notice here, though, is there's no people. There's no people. So are they hiring? Yes, we were able to find jobs, all sorts of jobs posted for the Stanley Black & Decker thing down there in Texas. Here we go, machine operator. That seems like a great job there. You do need to have greater than 1 year experience, but at least they're paying, for that experience, they're paying $15 an hour. Well, maybe that's why there's no one here. I'm sorry, it's 2021. They're paying $15 an hour. I don't know, but I live in a small town in Montana. We got 7,500 people, and the McDonald's here pays more than that. I mean, like a good bit. I think it's like $19 an hour, and they're still having trouble finding people. Oh, my gosh. Well, they're pushing this whole thing of Craftsman plus Made in the USA. That's going to be their success. This is from a letter they sent to investors, all right? This is how they're showing them. This is their plan going forward. I don't see anything about dropping the with global materials. I think that's here to stay. I don't know if we're ever going to see a truly made in the USA Craftsman here. I'm sorry, because I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that quality and that commitment and all that stuff, because we've talked about how Stanley Black & Decker likes to fudge their accounting with stuff. In fact, the FTC has even fined them previously for not living up to the rules for U.S. made in USA claims. Now, granted, it was $205,000 for Stanley Black & Decker amounts to essentially a parking ticket, but they've been slapped on the wrist multiple times, told that they're going a little too far and to pull it back. And I'm sorry, I got to agree with them on that. And here's, I'm going to show you a quick video. This is their plant for where they make their boxes here in Sedalia. I didn't say somewhere there. We build tools. We see the box. It comes out. It was coming in clean, gets dipped in the paint, and someone applies a sticker. We build pride. I didn't see any building going on. Let's watch that again. All right. Let's see if we catch the I'm terrible with these city names. All right. Sedalia, Missouri. I haven't spent much time in Missouri, so I can't really say there. Sedalia, Missouri. Over in KC a little bit. So there we go. They're coming off. They're okay. We see built boxes or built components here, and they're dripping. So they've been cleaned or something. Then they go into paint, and I'm guessing then assembly, and they put a sticker on it. That proudly made in the USA with global materials. I'm not trying. A lot of people accuse me of hating on Craftsman and hating on Stanley Black & Decker. I just don't like being lied to, is what it comes down to. And, Stanley Black & Decker is the largest tool company in the world. They say we're trying to bring manufacturing back. I'm sorry. You're a $100 billion company or whatever. You're the largest tool company in the world. If you want to bring it back, you can do it. You got the cash. And, let's look at this. We're proud to employ more than 17,000 people across 49 manufacturing facilities in the U.S. Our employees make tape measures in New Britain, Connecticut, Craftsman, toolboxes in Sedalia, and DeWalt Power Tools in Jackson, Tennessee, and Fort Mill, South Carolina. Now, they go on to say that the new Texas plant that's opening will create 500 new jobs. And that sounds, on the surface, it's easy to sit there and say, this is great. I'm always for more jobs in the U.S. Fun fact, we're not lacking for jobs in the U.S. There are more jobs than we have people to fill them. And if you haven't noticed that, you don't get out of the house. Everywhere we go, I talk to small business owners and other business owners. Nobody can find the employees they need. That's why McDonald's is paying $19 an hour so they can keep the doors open. We go over to Harbor Freight. Now, a lot of people say, well, how can you support Harbor Freight? All their tools are made in China. Well, they have 23,000 associates nationwide here in the U.S. Harbor Freight's owned in the U.S. The money comes back to the U.S., and they employ 23,000 Americans compared to Stanley Black & Decker's 17,000. And a lot of people try to say, well, they're better jobs. They're not, they're skilled labor. This guy here, this wrench machine operator, that's not called a skilled job. All right. That's not skilled labor. He's not a machinist. All right. He's not a welder. He's a guy, they call it semi-skilled, and he's making $15 an hour. The Harbor Freight Retail Stocking Associate in Dallas, Texas is making $15.25 starting. No experience required. So I need at least a year to get the job at Craftsman to make 25 cents less. No. And you know what? And talk about bringing real manufacturing back to the U.S., let's talk about another one of my favorite companies, and that's Tecton. Tecton up there in Michigan, they're a small company, but they're innovating. They're coming out with this new process of laser cutting and then machining and then making actual hand tools, complete, start to finish here in the U.S. In fact, start to finish in Michigan. All right? They're doing it. If Tecton can do it, why can't Stanley Black & Decker? If Right Tools can do it, they are forging, building, and making tools here in the U.S. Why can't Stanley Black & Decker? And, you know, you can sit there and say, Barry, you're just beating them too hard. These great jobs, blah, blah, blah. I want to give you something to ponder here. That is the fact that this new Craftsman factory in Dallas-Fort Worth is going to be 372,000 square feet. 373, let's call it. It's going to have 500 jobs, averaging $15 an hour to make made in America with an asterisk to tools. Your average big box store is 120,000 square feet. So 3 of those stores equals 1 of the Craftsman stores. They employ 200 people per store. That's 600 jobs, and they average about $15 an hour. That's the same wage. So your average per square foot, your average big box store pays the same and employs more Americans. We're not starving for jobs. We're starving for good jobs. The problem with manufacturing in the U.S. is that we lack the people who have skilled labor who can do it. I get we need to do automation, all that stuff. And there's a whole long discussion about what we need to do to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. The one thing that I have an issue with is being lied to. When they say made in the U.S., I want it to be made in the U.S. I don't want there to be an asterisk. If this is what it is going forward, it is what it is going forward. I want to be a Craftsman fan bear again. Every time I walk by the aisle over there in Lowe's and I see the big red cabinets, I want to buy one. I do. There's something in me that just wants to buy one, wants to have that Craftsman and have that warm, fuzzy feeling I had when I was a cub. But you know what? I'm a big bear now. I got to face big bear facts. So go ahead and flame me in the comments if you want. But the fact of the matter is, Stanley Black & Decker, you can do better. And you're the leader in the industry. You're there to set the example. I guess I expect more from you. Anyway, that's all this bear has for you today. As soon as they actually get this plant up and running and we see chrome coming out of it, I'll let you know. Make sure you've hit the like, the subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss any more updates about what's going on with manufacturing here in the U.S. and abroad. Anyway, that's all this Tool Bear has for you today. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.